Hello YouTube, this is Let's Talk Horror and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so it's been a busy, not even 24 hours for this channel and for Friday the 13th fans in general. It's been a busy about 12 hours because as I talked about and as I uploaded last night, there was some breaking news, or at least apparently breaking news, regarding the Crystal Lake A24 show happening at Peacock. To sum up, and that video is still up if you want to see it, a reported entertainment insider, Jeff Schneider, reported that A24 had pulled the plug on Crystal Lake, that they were no longer involved, they had pulled the plug, and that the show was likely not happening. That's the conclusion a lot of people, including myself, jumped to. And I vented, and I even said in that video that it's a little peculiar, and one of the silver linings that I was clinging to is that some of the bigger outlets, some of the outlets with a longer track record of credibility, like Bloody Disgusting, for example, like Deadline, like Variety, they had not commented. They had not gotten involved, and Brian Fuller hadn't really commented. As noted in his report, A24 had not commented. Well, now Bloody Disgusting finally this morning, has released something and released an article on it. And here is what they report. And so I'm going to read what they report, and then I will come back and discuss because I do have some thoughts. Crystal Lake, A24 has not pulled the plug on their Friday the 13th TV series. This is exclusive. Okay, so that's the title, so that's good news. Here's what they say, and I'll just read most of the article, or at least the juicy parts, and here it is. Can you believe it's now been 15 years since we last saw Jason Voorhees on the screen? In the wake of several years' worth of legal troubles, the Voorhees family was finally set to return in a new Friday the 13th television series from A24, Peacock, and Brian Fuller, titled Crystal Lake. But a report this week has cast doubt on the show happening at all. Jeff Schneider reported in his newsletter, The and Schneider, late last night that A24 has pulled the plug on the Crystal Lake series, which was due to begin filming sometime this year. Schneider writes in last night's exclusive report, it's unclear whether this is a permanent decision or a temporary one, as A24 had no comment. Perhaps Peacock will help the trades shed more light on this project, which was announced back in 2022. So that's what we talked about last night. Now here's the meat of the article. According to Bloody Disgusting sources, A24 has not killed off Crystal Lake at this time. We have confirmed the show is still happening, but there is indeed some retooling of the project happening behind the scenes. We're digging for more info. Stay tuned. Peacock had given the project a straight-to-series order in 2022, with Crystal Lake being described as an expanded prequel to the original Friday the 13th franchise featuring both Jason Voorhees and his mother, Pamela Voorhees. Original Friday the 13th final girl Adrienne King had even signed on for a reoccurring role in the planned A24 television series. Brian Fuller was to serve as a writer, showrunner, and executive producer, with Victor Miller, who penned the original classic, producing with Mark Toberoff, Rob Barsaman, I think is how you pronounce that, and A24. Kevin Williamson of Scream and Sick was on board to write an episode last we heard. So there it is. That is the Bloody Disgusting article. So the big news is that at the very least, as of right now, the show is not canceled. That A24 has not pulled their support. That is the reporting. Now I want to get into what this article offers, is that there is retooling going on behind the scenes. I think that's interesting. What does that mean? I don't know. Is Brian Fuller still involved? Is Adrienne King still involved? Is Kevin Williamson? What is going on here? What does that mean? I don't know. And I'll say this. It's a little troubling when Brian Fuller himself, this is not just random reporting, this is Brian Fuller himself coming out recently and saying filming was set to begin in July. And now we're hearing some sort of retooling is happening behind the scenes. That's a little troubling. I don't know what that means. Something is happening. I don't know, guys. I don't know what that means. I mean, that's a little troubling in its own right, as I said. But again, the moral of the story, man, is it just goes to show that we can't trust anyone and everyone who claims to be an insider, guys. And I'm not trying to slander Jeff Schneider, but the meat of his report that A24 had completely pulled the plug on the show and that the show was dead was complete bullshit. Let's call a spade a spade. This is, to a certain extent, this is the Halloween and A24 report happening all over again, where a bunch of insiders claim, or supposed insiders, I should say, claimed that A24 had gotten the rights to the Halloween TV show, and that just didn't happen. That was completely false. And now the reporting last night was that A24 had completely pulled the plug on the Crystal Lake TV show. That was completely false, at least as of right now. Now, again, we need to know what this retooling is. With the harassment allegations against him, maybe A24 and Peacock were not comfortable moving forward with Brian Fuller. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really curious to hear what they're reporting. But yeah, man, this is why we got to be more careful. And this is why we have to wait. And I include myself in it this time. This is why we have to wait for outlets like Bloody Disgusting, like Deadline, like Variety, like even something like Screen Rant to comment. Because this is another situation where this person who claims to be an insider, like the newsletter that he posted this in was called the In Schneider. We all got fooled by an outlet called the In Schneider with that ridiculous name. And he reported something that turned out, at least as of right now, to seemingly be completely false. So I just wanted to jump back on. I would feel bad if I didn't jump back on and comment. And yeah, it's at least partially good news for right now. At least according to Bloody Disgusting, the Crystal Lake TV show is still on. A24 has not pulled their involvement. And that's good news for right now. We have to find out what more of this retooling is. And yeah, just another reminder that we shouldn't trust anyone and everyone who claims to be an insider. And this time around, I definitely put myself in that camp. So just wanted to jump back on here and share the good news, and I'll see you guys later. I'll be sure to jump back on if we have any more updates on the Crystal Lake TV show and what this retooling is, and take care.